After 2 campaign turns in Seljuk, well, the Seljuks are trying desperately to meet their 10-point requirement for locations that they put under stress. It's a hard thing to meet, and they pay like a victory point each for failure, which, you know, I can make up for some of that with these loot markers. Got a bunch of them here, but I have to get back to where my carts can haul stuff back, which will limit my winter turn in terms of how much more I can raid. Right now, I do have 5 loot markers, and I've collected 6 of these things, so I'm ahead, but not by a lot, you know. And ideally, I would be I would be also generating some additional pain in there. Now, if I can siege something and take it over, that changes the dynamic a little bit, but I've got this big worry of the Romans like slipping around behind me, and I can't really face them. They're a bigger army than I've got. As we found out before, where Alp Arslan tried to stop them, we do get some additional leaders available, more of them on the Roman side, but those start back here at Constantinople, not very attractive right now. Well. Turns out that the rules are actually the same, they're just not written the same way. So there's a specific area under allegiance that you go to look for that. Well, the area of VP markers, conquered, which starts out with Roman markers worth, right, which doesn't feel like it has anything to do with this. Somewhere a little later on, Roman markers worth 1 VPX, Seljuk are worth none. They reverse a stronghold's allegiance. Yeah, okay. Which means that I couldn't have done some of the stuff I did in terms of like conquering and ravaging. I don't care. I don't care. This is different, like they've structured the rules differently from every other game in the series. Instead of spelling out allegiance under allegiance, the conquest ability has been slipped under some other rule just for, I have no idea what reason. But yeah, one of the nice things about Almoravid, and most of the prior ones, was this little, hey, something's changed here, a little triangle type thing. There's none of that here, even though this one is supposedly more based on Nevsky than any of the other one, you know, than the other ones are. More of a return to the Nevsky feel. I mean, I just don't know what to do. I'm growing so frustrated. The system is hard enough to internalize each game in it with what differences it has, that if they can't even follow the same rules structure, it's ouch. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to give up, obviously, but it just pisses me off because I had certain conceptions. Those conceptions appeared broken here. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing now. This did not charge. We're back up here. It's Sunday morning. I got sucked into watching SNL skits. I don't know. Mainly last week's, but this week too I started it on. It's like it's not, I watch things that I don't even really enjoy or care about, you know, just out of kind of habit or something. I'd much rather be reading, but I don't have a book to read right now, and things are kind of complicated because it appears I'm going to be having a group over to game on Tuesday again. It's stupid 4:30, which has its own problems. But it's like, it's either 5 or 7. Now, there are not a lot of games that I have that hold 7. I figure, and this is kind of a light group, so I can't easily push most of the things, like I'm thinking Pax Britannica, Crusades. They're just empires of the Middle Ages might be able to get away with this group, but I'm probably going to do Junta if it's 7. If it's 5, it's a lot easier. Anything 5 or 6 players, I can find tons of stuff. But I also need to know which game to prepare. Now I can probably get away with Junta either way. So, but whatever. Anyway, we're here. I guess starting the levy phase of turn 3, and when I start running into too many hitches in a game, and I feel like that's happening. First of all, levying campaign is always tough to get over the hurdle, but then this thing with the allegiance, I don't know what it means, because I don't know if this is. I know this couldn't have been done, but I don't know if it's legitimate even that it's there. And it's kind of a, so let's see. Like there's something about ravaging that would have switched it, but it's like, yeah, but it's not really fair to take that away from, the Imperial player. And I don't know where it is, if it's, like there was something that switches the ravages over. I bet it's under siege or something. It's under the success on those is what I'm guessing. Move siege. If it has a ravage marker that is the same color as the allegiance, flip it to the opposite color. Yeah, but I thought it was only the Romans that got fucked. Yeah, so this would actually be a blue one, I guess, at this point. I don't know. I'll just remove it first in the spring because, it's not fair to take that away from the Roman player because the rules were written in a way that, like, the allegiance rules don't cover the issue. It's squirreled away in something else, the victory point rules. Yeah, that's where I would have thought to look for it. All right, what the hell are we at? We're at the Arts of War, which means I shuffle the decks again. And here we're at another one that I'm not sure what it means, so I'm going to have to look in the playbook to find out. Add your treachery card to this season's command deck during plan phase, 4.1. I mean, I look here, and there's almost no numbers in this area, right? Like I said, at other points, I'm finding numbers all over the place. But then, and that's a GMT general problem. That's not specific to this nor to levying campaign. GMT tends just not to put enough numbers in, to put too many blocks of text in. So 4.1 is planned. So they plan for by selecting and stacking available command cards. That's the plan stack, okay? That's not the deck. The deck is what's available. So I have a treachery card available is how I would read this. But then they say Roman must add one no command, which feels like that should go in the stack. Arrgh. We get clarification. The treachery card is in addition to the normal command cards called for the season, which sounds like it's supposed to go into the stack, not deck, which is available cards. It's kind of always in the deck, but like not available to be used or whatever. If both players add their treachery card in the same turn, both players still add a no command to the deck, meaning there will be 2 extra cards. So I think this is all meant to be stack. not deck. Not a lot of care there. And again, it's only by reading this stuff in the playbook that you get this. This is one where it's like the error is in the terminology rather than I really needed to know what was going on here. So the reason that you put a no command in is so that both players have the same amount of cards, so that they can program at the same level. That makes sense when you start thinking about it. But like, if I had read this specifically just from this in the rule book, I would have said, I have the option to put a treachery card in, and you can come up with a reason for this. One of the cards that the Romans had to put in would have to be a no command. Now I'm getting a treachery card added to my command stack. Whether I could use it or not, which is, again, very different from how Inferno handles that. And let's draw the second one. Siege of Bari, this is the second time one Seljuk lord gets +1 lordship this muster. Got to shuffle and deal with those. Before I draw, I don't even know if I've shuffled yet. I got sort of distracted and decided, hey, you know, what's our developer situation, right? Because I know the designer, this is a first-time design. The developer is is one of the developers for Inferno. He's also was involved in other stuff to some degree or another. Apparently did work on Plantagenet too. Kind of have the feeling that both of those are going off the rails more than I would like, especially Plantagenet. I feel like, let me check to see if he's credited as a developer there. Indeed he is, which, you know, may lead to more willingness to fuck around with stuff, make stuff more complicated or whatever. To some degree, complication can be okay or whatever, but I'm running into too many things where the system used to be, you know, I used to be able to pull a card and understand it without having to look here. It didn't have as many errors. It feels like there's more effort being put into trying to present something that's new and different than trying to make sure that everything is clear and understandable. Again, it's hard to tell where things go, but to me, one of the developers' roles is to rein in designer impulses to go too far afield unless there's a really good reason, and also to try to keep things manageable to the players, right? He's there as an advocate for the player and for the company, as opposed to for that sort of design ideal, and to try to bring some kind of sometimes of resonance, harmony between the two. And I mean, changing the order of the description of allegiance in the way that they did, where it makes it less clear, that's problematic. Now, I would say that's the kind of thing that playtesters would have perhaps brought up, but it's hard to tell. It really is, because playtesters could have gotten away just thinking, as I did, wow, that's fucking weird that you made that change and I don't get it, without even realizing and without, you know, writing that down. And so it might never have been made clear that, yeah, the rules are less clear than they were in all the other, or at least, you know, I would say in Nevsky and Almoravid. Again, I don't know. Maybe Carrera or whatever his name is. Got it here. I probably can't pronounce it right anyway. Who is it? Christopher Correa. Maybe he's gotten that into the two later ones, and it just didn't stick with me because I tried to play it, how I'm used to levy and campaign working, as opposed to having noticed that little change in the rules. Again, I don't know. But here it hit. I found a rule where I expected to see that because I know there's some weirdness going on with allegiance in this one. And yeah, it threw me off. But then, not using consistent terminology, the command deck feels to me to be all of these cards. Adding a treachery to it means, to me, you have the option of using a treachery, much like I think you did in Inferno, as opposed to that it gets stuck in the command stack, which is actually a defined term, that they don't use on the card for some reason. To be fair, developer is kind of a thankless task. I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to do it. Playtester is too, to some extent. If you do it right, what do you get? You get maybe some credits as playtester. You get like a free copy of the game or something. Yeah, you gotta be really enchanted with the particular system or whatever to be willing to invest your time that way. Certainly, someone like me couldn't do that because I flit around from game to game and just find flaws. And this is also an early look at the game, which is to say that the living rules may end up being updated to make things clearer. When there's a second edition or something, there might be fixes going in. But it's putting me in that position of, geez, I don't know if I'm, a system that I admire so much as Levy and Campaign. I can't pull away from it. I can't stop supporting it, but it's trying to convince me. Anyway. Aleppo independence. Unless Aleppo is conquered, it is friendly to both sides, but neither may withdraw inside. Aleppo can now yield Seljuk auto victory. Gotta have a thing here. Oh, I didn't play that. We didn't have that, right? This is Aleppo independence. Huh. It's friendly to both sides, mark. I don't know what I'm supposed to mark it with. There we go. That's where it went. Okay. Fair enough. And we have to remember this. The auto victory. Now, this is what's kind of weird. 5.2 gives this auto victory. Maybe I looked this one up too. Because this feels... So this is the kind of thing that I kind of expect I'd have to look into. Because this is a big event. And we got a number there, R14. Unfortunately, these aren't that much. The level is already conquered. The event has no effect. In this instance, it does not trigger the ability for the Seljuk to win the game during the winter following. And we get, we get a civil war trying to play the Fatimids in the west against the Sunni Seljuks. It says it's Fatimid, but, this isn't helping me with what I was looking for, though, which is, if it's friendly, I'm not sure I can attack it. Like, I'm guessing that there's a prohibition against that. Now, 5.2 has no mustered lords. The Seljuk can win the first phase of winter if they have conquered Aleppo and the Aleppo independence event has been played for its effect. Which is weird because the way that's worded sounds like I'd have to conquer Aleppo beforehand, maybe. But that's actually specifically excluded wherever I found it here. Like, I don't feel like this is at all good for the Romans. But that's okay. But it may mean that you want to take this capability to prevent this. If it's already conquered when the event is revealed, the event has no effect. Well, okay. If there's any kind of sequence in here, it says Seljuk wins if they have conquered Aleppo and the independence event has been played for its effect, which almost sounds like it should go in the other order, the order that's specifically prohibited, but okay. But let's take a look at sieging something or assaulting something, right? Neither can withdraw inside. When we move, when any lords are in a locale outside an enemy stronghold, that isn't this, that isn't bypassed or besieged, they must either besiege or bypass. Now again, I know what's intended here. I'm not going to play by the rules as written. There's obviously something wrong there, but I don't think I can besiege. And here, any besieging your lord can use his entire command to advance the siege, but you have to have the siege set already, right? Do we have anything special about Aleppo here? We do not. So there's maybe there's a special rule on Aleppo in the maps section? Speaking of which, I don't think Aleppo is actually aligned with anyone anyway, because it's kind of green. If we look at allegiance, it's either in purple or blue, shows the original allegiance. Doesn't even talk about Aleppo. Aleppo is not called out in here that I see. All very funky. I had assumed Aleppo actually was aligned with the Romans, but that doesn't seem to actually be the case. God knows. But now it's allied to both, and I guess the Seljuks can besiege it in order to win the game. Got something over here? I'm assuming it uses Seljuk defenses for a siege. I vaguely remember seeing something like that. That's normal battle. Storm and Sally. And again, if I do siege it, does that make it enemy? It's 4 dice for Aleppo, 1.31. Okay, let's see. Let's go see that. 1.31 is the fucking map section. Thanks. I keep hitting this, and I know I'm going to hit it. This rule number goes from here to here with no subsections at all. Brilliant. Okay, here we go. Various events will change the diplomatic status of Aleppo. All right, here we go. The three spaces in the Fatimid Caliphate are friendly to the Roman and enemy to the Seljuk. The Roman player cannot withdraw inside them. Yeah, but this one starts out conquered. Does not automatically succeed at forage. Various game effects will change it. Okay, this is going to work. Strongholds in the Caliphate use the Seljuk column of garrison during a storm. If the Roman player conquers a Seljuk stronghold in the Caliphate, they only remove the Seljuk conquered markers and do not place their own. After Aleppo independence is played after its effect, the Seljuks conquering and holding Aleppo through the next winter will result in the Seljuk automatic victory. It becomes a tempting target. It really does. But it has 4 dice, even though it's a 3 defense location, if I recall correctly, for the siege thing. And it's also painful to take. Ugh. And here's the thing. The Roman army is powerful. It might be able to retake, or at least interfere with the attack on Aleppo. So maybe that's not a great goal. So where am I lost? I'm lost with the next one. Basil Aloysianos tricks the Sultan. Hold. Play as a Roman stronghold surrenders on a roll of 3 or less. Throw a roll of 3 or less. Guess that means you don't have all 4. Well, you don't have 4 or 5 points. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Do not place conquered. Replace all sieged with bypassed. If marked, discard and draw a new event. Yeah, we're gonna have to look this one up too, because that's Okay. Surrender on 3 or less means the die roll needed to cause a surrender has some count, i.e. the locale has a combination of 3 or more siege and ravage markers. Good God, it doesn't make sense there. Okay, but here we get it clear. This event cannot be played if there's a combination of 4 plus ravaged markers. So the locale has some combination of 3 or more. And then here it says it cannot be played if it's a combination of 4 plus. It's, again, really poorly worded. I know what they mean, but I don't like it. I don't like it. There's a lot of that going on in here. And I don't remember when I had to look things up in the playbook, them being still unclear the way some of these are showing up as. I'm getting close to saying this game is too rough around the edges to even play, much as it's. I mean, I am getting the idea of what is intended in most cases, but it's not feeling like it's up to GMT's standards. It feels like a level of review was just not placed here. And you know, I gotta tell you, Plantagenet did not feel particularly good. I'm trying to remember Inferno. I know I struggled, but I always struggle with the Levian campaign. But Plantagenet felt like it didn't hang together properly. And now this one, it feels like Levian campaign is being taken down paths without the appropriate care that it deserves. And, you know, kind of felt that way with Coin and Pendragon. That felt like it went too far. Felt like it pushed the system too far, and there were things that were problematic in it. I really wish GMT's quality has gone down in terms of rules and whatnot. It was always not my taste in rules, but their actual quality of rules. They've been having more misses than I like, and it's gotten to the point of I'm not sure that like things that are on my subject desires and whatnot. It's falling close to like compass level at this point for me. Kind of the, okay, I think I'll wait for the second printing and hope for the best, because even that doesn't necessarily help with like compass. As we saw recently with Nations in Arms, where the rules were just garbage. And but this is really beginning to piss me off. Anyway, we move on. Pay. Alp Arslan has money. I kind of need to keep him in the field, because otherwise this loot starts disbanding. So even though I was planning on not necessarily keeping him in the field, I'm going to put a coin in and move his markers forward. Not thrilled about it, because I want to disband him so I can rebuild him. But he also has if I recall correctly, when you do disband someone, and I don't remember when that happens, right here. It's going to be the Lord's service rating. So he takes this is what I recalled, he takes, I just wanted to make sure the game is still stating that in the same way. It takes him another, year and a third in this game to come back. Now you can spend other money to bring him closer, and that would be wise, but I kind of feel like I absolutely need him, especially because he's plowing around through here. We may be able to disband him at the end of the winter, or at the beginning of next turn, assuming he doesn't get fought and like battered and has to try to fix that. Over on the Roman side, this guy, I mean, he's kind of in an important place. So I will pay his off. And this goes forward as well. Just to keep my troops in the field more than anything else. I need him. I'll pay him off. And what about the last one? What about Robert? I don't know. I don't think he's worth paying off, because I'd have to pay him from someone else. So he'll go up here, and this goes back there, and he comes off the board. He's just not impressing me. Do I know? I know there's a treachery card too, and maybe that has some effect. Not really looking it up, but it doesn't feel like it's worth... Well, he's throwing in the wrong pit. It doesn't feel like it's worth paying him, especially if he's going to turn traitor. So we get rid of him. That was disband, honestly. And that's the only disband. We're going to hit muster. I've spent so much time working through the rest of this. I got to stop. I'll go watch me some more SNL. Miserable as that is. Got me another error. Oh, battery didn't charge completely. This was back here, back on turn 2. This is one of the problems I often have with the calendar. There's just so much going on with it. This guy should have demobilized last turn. don't know why he didn't. I can pay, I believe. I don't know, because the only money I have is way out there. So let me take a look at payoff. He shouldn't be there. He just shouldn't be there at all, is what it actually turns out to be. Let me just remove him. He had a 2, he would have been here, he would show up here, and we'll just take him off the map. I don't know that I would have laid siege to this if he wasn't there, but it doesn't make much difference, to be honest. Now, I put the treachery and the no commands up there to remind me that I've got to pick them. I'm trying to do the mustering for the Seljuks. It's getting, discouragement after discouragement with this one. I was gung-ho, but, not reading through the rules aloud is definitely a hit against my ability to cope with it. But also, it's been a while since I played one of these, and every time I face them, they're hard. They because they just don't gel in terms of the same kind of rules of thumb or whatever that I'm used to playing in games. And yep. I remember from many of these is that mustering someone in the winter is kind of not a great idea. Although it does give me the capability to, they'll be able to use their own levying capacity to bring their reinforcements on in the spring if they have vassals. So that is something to consider. But simply mustering a unit, a lord, in the winter, he's going to have to return to his castle in this game. They almost always, these games almost always have something that makes it so you don't want to muster someone right before, during the winter turn, or not winter, fall turn, in this case. But in the last turn of the year, there's always a good reason not to. I have these available to me if I want them as well, because these aren't this campaign events. A lot of these cards take different value, like this one. Each muster phase, this lord in an unbesieged friendly locale may restore one of his lost units. Well, friendliness is now determined by siege, right? Hey, where is it? It's under the victory point markers. Or something. Fucking no now. It's right near alignment. If I can find that again. Okay. We're not finding it. We're finding stickering. Okay, we can't find alignment now. I don't know. Allegiance. Allegiance is here. That means here. Victory point markers. That's where we look up what the allegiance does. Not anywhere under allegiance, of course. They reverse a stronghold's allegiance. Allegiance is its original allegiance to which it is friendly. It is enemy to the other side, but not really, because... And here they have statements. Original printed allegiance affects who may ravage, where the color of the ravage and runes is placed, as well as valid targets. But I don't know, like, is that superseded by this as well? I don't know. Oh, Imperial Fortress construction repairs ruined strongholds. That's different from how it's worded. I'll say that right away. I don't remember what kind of card that was, but that's a card, I gotta find that. That did not indicate that it repaired on the card. It indicates it puts a level 1 fortress. For a quick battery change, we're gonna hunt down a few things there. Let's find that card. Down multiple things to try to figure this out. So this says place 2 fort markers on this card. As a command action, this lord may place a fort marker on any unfortified locale, including ruined, which sounds different. Of course, this gives us 1.3.1, which is map, which of course goes down to here. Okay, whatever. Totally fucking useless numbering system. May place a fort on any unfortified in the Roman Empire. Here, though, it says, what? Ruins and, this is just a note. Never occupy the same. The fortress construction capability repairs ruined strongholds. That's 1.9.1. Which is Arts of War cards. That's not going to tell me damn thing. But what might is over here. The fort markers are placed when the capability is levied. The lord does not have to be at the locale. A Seljuk ruins marker is removed from the locale when the fort marker is placed. So it sounds like the fort is placed. I don't know what that fort marker refers to. Maybe it has multiple uses. Maybe one of them is, rules were slipping. Maybe one of them is it negates the ruins or something, I don't know. But where would fort markers be? Would they have their own component rule? Probably not. The bypass looks kind of like it. Yeah, so I'm left in kind of again, an area where I'm not sure how, this is one where I'm not sure how to even process it. It sounds like the fort marker's on the map to remind me that I can't construct it again. I can't use construction to rebuild stuff anywhere else. That the fortress is fully rebuilt, maybe, sort of, kind of. Where were we? See, it says repairs ruined strongholds. It actually doesn't say that they're full strength. But a fort on here is a level 1. And what was this saying? The ruin marker gets removed? The Seljuk ruins is removed from the locale, adjust victory points. I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. And then if you wipe out that fort, one would assume that the original city, like this, doesn't restore to full value by destroying the fort. Like, but there was an implication that this could be rebuilt to full value, which sort of feels like it's covered here, but isn't covered with the idea of a fort counter being on the board or anything like that. Oh, good Lord. I gotta stop buying games. I really do. Yeah. I'm left with a lot of questions. Still that question of why is this here? You know, is it restored by the fort marker being there? Does that make sense? Again, or is there a level 1 fort there? Or what? I don't, I feel like I can't even do the muster. Like, I feel like I'm so discouraged at this point. Every time I face this game, it feels that the rules are shoddier and more problematic, and I just keep finding more examples of that they're not holding together the way I expect them to. I don't know. I mean, I either need to fucking get through this turn, because I have something that I probably ought to just play to get myself ready for Tuesday or whatever. It's Sunday still. It's foggy as fuck. Probably raining too. It doesn't look like it. But I'm just getting so fucking discouraged by playing this particular. This is so far the most painful of the Levian campaigns, and it was supposed to throw back more towards Nevsky, but they just seem to be getting worse and worse. Plantagenet had serious problems with trying to link the campaign. That was probably its biggest problem. But this one feels like it's just they're pumping them out too quick, maybe too many things going through one developer, whatever, that not enough efforts being put to make sure that you have a nailed down decent set of rules. GMT was at least good at nailing down rules, even if not good at writing them. Like, the case numbering and stuff was always a problem with GMT rules, but with most designers, they managed. The one exception was Berg. They gave Berg a lot of leeway to, like, be Berg, but what that meant is some of his games were not as the rules were not as well nailed down. And for example, in the Men of Iron series, there was something that I guess was ambiguous. I read it one way, and that was the wrong way. And I was very surprised to see it rewritten. But when you try to nail things down, you get rules bloat, right? So I'm okay either way, but what I've got here is kind of rules bloat with, or relatively thick and hefty rules without the kind of accuracy and consistency that I would want. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. I think we break again and come back and try to muster again, maybe. Or maybe play something else for the next couple days and see if we still have any will to face this. But so far, this is really disappointing me. I come up to convince myself, and actually, I got nothing in the muster phase at all. Both my Seljuk stacks are in Imperial territory, and both my Imperial stacks are not at a friendly location. Oh, wait. Friendly location, isn't it? Fuck. So actually, this one, no, this is bypassing. Yeah, nobody's sitting anywhere where they can muster. Even if we were in, let's see. You must begin in an unbesieged friendly locale. And again, friendly appears to include captured, which I've been misplaying because they hid the rule. All right, well, that's, I feel like I've done quite a bit then. Let's do the call to arms, I guess. let's see what we can do. Transfer a coin from Alp Arslan. There. Now the other thing, we could remove a loot from Mosul or Baghdad. We don't have any. Yeah, let's put a coin there to prep that for bringing another one in, because I'm kind of worried that I might lose this. Now, for the Byzantines, I don't have a commander in Constantinople, so the only thing I can really do is pull this down, and that's going to put me in the campaign. I have to build the campaign decks, but yeah, I think I'm going to go play something else, or read or something. I honestly don't know if I'm going to make it through this one. First time I felt that way, I think, for a Levian campaign. I don't feel like restarting. I'm just getting so disappointed in general. Monday night, I started another book and also played a full game of Tammany Hall, which is likely what we're going to be doing tomorrow, rather than come up here and face this, and also fucked around and whatever else I could do to avoid this. But I'm like, I really ought to get to the end of the year before, you know, I have gaming tomorrow. Oh, I also filled out some inheritance stuff, which I probably got wrong, but because I have to get something notarized and I've already signed it, so I guess I'm not actually sure I have to get it notarized. Anyway, I guess I'll just send it in, and that should get at least some of it dealt with. I had to deal with this treachery card and figure out what's up with it. So I reread the rules on that, and it doesn't matter whether or not the Lord is there, is on the board. So I'll be able to play it in this opportunity and try to convert one of the Norman lords, no matter what. That's fine. What do we got here? Victory points. We're going to be in the campaign phase. I guess this goes up here, and this goes here. Whatevers. And since it doesn't matter, I can play it anywhere in my order. So if there's nothing I want to do right off, I might fire it off right off, or I might fire it off as the last thing. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's not going to influence the play of the game. And of course, the Romans have a no command to fill the same kind of blank there. So I'll try to figure out what my programming is. My goal here with the Seljuks is to do as much damage as I can and get back into range so that I can convert those loot, especially Alp Arslan, who has a couple of loot markers on him. This guy does not. Oh no, he has 3. Yeah, so, and I have to be back in range of one of my seats, which is problematic because this guy's seat is way back here. I don't think it takes a full, card to, I mean, that doesn't even make sense. I think he can do his cart travel through here. Oh, it does say entire command card there for the march. But anyway, I think supplies is the same. But it causes a real problem because this is the seat I was counting on, and the Romans are damn close to that. And I'm kind of considering that I have to fall back and try to defend that. Arslan could actually cut his way closer. He's got a decent number of carts. He has 5 carts between him, which would get me 1, 2, 3. I could certainly go to either of these, go to this for 4, 5, whatever. So he's got a lot of room to play around in, but I've got this stupid, like, the complexity of the calculations in this game. which are one of the big things. Levy and Campaign always has these hugely complex calculations as to, hey, what am I going to do over the course of my time, over the course of my turns? And I almost always get it wrong, right? And this is one of the big struggles. And add to that when the rules start, changing or appearing to change just because they're structured differently from the rest of them. Avalon Hill lived off their classics for a while, right? Where all the games were basically the same. Coin lived off of classics for a few of the games. I feel like Levy and Campaign has largely failed that. It's like run all over the place, adding, a lot of complexity and everything to a system that's already a heavy burden for the players. I love what it's trying to do. Just don't know that I want it to jump off so far as it has been. And especially when it's pointless stuff, like the allegiance rules in this one. I keep bringing them up, but there's just sort of this pointless change in the rules that keeps them meaning the same thing, takes up more space, and is pissing me off. As an example, there's probably more than that in here that's just as problematic. Sign when I look at something like this and how I've dealt with it the last couple of days, and that, my same avoidance issues come into play with gaming as they do with everything else. It's just somehow I overcome them with gaming. I force myself to come up. That's something I don't do with other things, and I don't know the why behind that. Speaking of avoidance, something else that was on my mind. Viceroys. I just learned, first of all, I didn't realize the designer of it, same guy who did War and Peace, I think, Mark McLaughlin. Is it? Yeah. He just posted Compass is redesigned. It has a redesign and reissue of it coming out, which was like, shit. Within the last, 15 years or whatever, I picked up a copy of it because I remembered thinking, wow, that was a game that was really cool in a lot of ways. But we never got around to playing it because the rules were kind of atrocious and it looked like it was going to be a real mess to do. But I wanted to explore it, and in the 15 years since I got it, or less than that, but whatever, more than 10, less than 15, somewhere in there. So early on when I was getting back into gaming, it was one that I was like, yeah, I want a copy of that. No, it's getting reprinted. I would have been like, even Compass probably can't do a worse job than Task Force did. Task Force rules were just awful. I mean, how did I get into SFB? Well, yeah, through the awful old rules that they patched together with book after book after book, and then they kind of came together and put them together as an ASL type thing. Anyway, still trying to avoid actually doing the work for this game. I have 7, make it 8 cards because of the treachery thing, I guess, to put it into play. I'm looking at, I probably want to do all of Alp Arslan. Fill the other 3 in with Arasigi. But I have to think more carefully than I have been because I have to get to a specific spot by winter, and that makes it harder, and that's why we're focusing in on this. In addition, I have Afsir Bey, who I could put in if I really needed to get more supplies with Alp Arslan. Afsir Bey doesn't really give me any advantage over Alp. He's in the same, well, he's over here too, but I'm not going to be able to reach that. But everybody reaches this, so that's, I guess, kind of cool. But yeah, what am I going to do, And what I have to do is pre-calculate how many times I want to gather supplies of one sort or another, and where I can ravage and stuff like that, and what that's going to account for, and then my movements, and try to make it so that my 4 cards get me to where I want to be in the 3 for Arsigi. And it's just like, it's a nightmare to me, right? Much the same way. So games where I'm plotting movement on a sheet of paper don't feel as painful as this. This is when I took one look at what Robo Rally was and people told me about it, I just had this absolute instant recoiling that I knew that I would fuck that up completely because I'm not writing down specifically what I want to do. Here, maybe if I plotted everything out, what all the turns were intended beforehand, I would see where I'd want to be ending up, what I'd intend to do. It might not work out that way. But I don't do that. Instead, I kind of try to pre-plot or whatever. I've been shooting from the hip for the most part, which is what I end up doing usually in levying campaign. Like there's usually a brief period in the middle where I'm plotting everything out and then I'm like, yeah, you know, it never actually works out that way. I always fuck something up either in my pre-calculations or I fuck up, you know, because events change and I have to react to them. And then there's the fact that I don't have a memorialization of what I chose to plan to do. Now, I walk away from the game several times. It's not like I'm just sitting here with my plan brewing in my head, fixed. Not that that would work, you know. But compare that to like a diplomacy game. Now, in diplomacy, you're only plotting one turn ahead, but something like Wooden Ships and Iron Men, Ironclads, Trireme, where I'm plotting out my movement and I look and I can see I go from there to there, I go from there to there. You know, I've got it all figured. But here, instead, I'm just putting these cards down that are saying what I'm doing without that written path. Oh, Magic Realm's another one where, you know, I can usually get it right. But I can almost never get it right with this game because I'm just slapping cards down and saying, yeah, I'll figure out I'll have to remember what I figured out. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'll figure it out when I get there again. Yeah, probably not effectively. So whatever planning I do is actually kind of bullshit. In case, fuck it, I won't plan. I'll do what I've been doing. I'll just play it by ear. So I slapped something together. I threw the treachery in, not at the very end, because I will want that final move, but I may want to jump on things. Who knows? And then we go over here. And what do I fucking have here? I have this Aleppo card, which I think is the rest of the game, right? It says mark, yeah. It's friendly to both sides. Am I going to remember that? And what do I have in my hand? I have this, which, whatever. That is a historical, or reflects a historical event where basically, who do they say? I think it was against Alp Arslan himself. Basil Alusianos tricks the Sultan. Yeah, he basically said, yeah, okay, if you dismantle your siege equipment, I'll surrender. What kind of fool would agree to that? Like, yeah, I'm not going to use my siege equipment, but it's useless to you, and it's not a threat if I dismantle it, so no, I'm not going to do that. But he did, at least according to what's in here. Yeah, and, you know, obviously what's in here, it comes from historical sources, but the historical sources may not be as honest as we would like to think. Right. So I'm stuck with the no command and who knows what else. Some kind of bullshit half-assed planning so that I can get away from the game for a while. I mean, honestly, it's all I feel like doing right now. Like, I'm just like, I'm up here because I have a duty to finish playing. There's no pleasure anymore. The joy and excitement that I had at getting this and at being able to play another levying campaign, but they've just been declining. They've been getting too far off the realm, and you know, I don't know. I'm just getting too pissed at them. Back up here and let's see if in my naive, uncalculating way I can manage to make anybody function properly in this game. I certainly can't think straight. There's Sigi. So what is he trying to do? I've already rated this and bypassed. I have Probably 3 cards for him. Probably doing things wrong. Now, as far as I can tell, and I've looked at this before, I can ravage any locale that's an enemy. And they're all worth the same points. So I can push on. Let's take a look. He has as much provender as he can carry, but he is overburdened. He doesn't have enough carts to get back here, but he has enough to get there. Okay, so I get 3 actions. One is going to be to grab a provender, because always need more food. 2 will move me here. Getting rid of this. Our ruins. And 3, I'm going to try to pillage, well, to ravage whatever. This location, we are going to throw the last of the garrisons in the way. This is just a militia. It can't do shit. Right? Yeah, militias, not really worth throwing in. So we will get a half victory point for that. And we get something else for the ravage, which is another provender. Removed fought, so we eat that one, not the other one that we have. Wait a minute, we can't. We did one to grab food, 2, 3 to move here. We didn't get to ravage. Get that point back. We're probably just going to move back here on our next move, but that's okay. All right. I don't know what to do with this. On to the Romans. We get the Emperor. The Emperor has bypassed a location. I would really like to take this. What's my supply situation right now? I have him with me. I have enough. We have 4 movement. Do we have a 5th? We have 4 movement. 1, 2, 3 we ravage. We got moved fought on both of these. 3 we ravage. We get a provender and a loot. Now we're laden. We ravage. Okay, before we ravage, we're going to try to forage, because I don't have enough to move here. We failed that. We have to eat, and both of our units have to eat. Okay, that'll do. What is this? I should just have it in mind that I don't need it, but I can't remember that. Now we're on Alp. Alp has 4 cards in here. He is carrying this guy with him. I've already ravaged that, so I can't forage there. So, I am overladen. 1, 2 to here. We have a moved thought on us. 1, 2. We got 4. Three. We can't make it up to there. So we will forage. Unless we had food within range. We actually had food. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had food within range here. Maybe we do a supply first. We were overloaded anyway. Yeah, let's do a supply first. As 1, 2, 3. And now we loot with just 1 point. He could throw this in, but it probably doesn't help. And there's enough food to cover both armies. So yeah. We ravage. We get the half point. We get a provender and we get a loot. The loot should be a 3 loot somewhere. There's a 3 loot. We eat one of the provender. The other provender we feed to our subordinate. We got all that. The moved thought is gone because we ate. When we get back over here. Him. He doesn't have enough cart to do a damn thing. So I'm not going to be able to siege, but I could ravage. But better than that, I could loot. Forage. That's 1. I only have 2, so we'll forage again. We get 2 forage. We don't have to eat because we didn't do anything that requires it. And we come back over. It's another Alp Arslan. I got 2 more Alp Arslans. He's expensive to move. So to get back to here would be 3. So here's the question. Where can I get to? Well, I want to go up here. So this will be 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 to pillage. I don't know. I can't forage. I have 4 or 5 cart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can supply. I'm already overburdened, so I'll take the supply. I'm afraid I'm going to have to eat loot. That's 1. Oops. 1. 2, 3, 4 I ravage. This is regular infantry. We'll put that in the way. I don't get anything. And now I have to feed these 2 go. Back over. We get Diogenes again. Diogenes has taken that. Where can I find food? I don't have his cards anywhere. And of course he comes from all the way back there. I'm not going to find food easily. I have loot with me. I'm not overloaded otherwise. 1, 2. I get the moved fought. Three, I seek food. I get some. 4, I seek food. Or do I ravage? I seek food. That's 2 food. That's enough to cover both of these. So the moved fought goes away. Come back down. Hey, we're just chugging along, aren't we? Arsigi, what's up with him? We failed to loot here somehow. I got one more card. I got a problem, which is an army there. I am going to spend 2 to loot. I get a provender too. Guaranteeing that I get it. I don't get the loot. No, that's not as good as I want it. 2 to loot, but I get one of these. Puts me up there. And then, what else? I'm overburdened. 3, 4 back into here. I eat a provender. And I'm hoping for the best that I'm able to connect up and then attack. That's about my only way. Because if I want to return my points, it has to be back to my own thingy, Madhu. Right? My own home. That's what I recall. Might be wrong. See, this is just new rules that are always kind of troublesome. Where's winter? End campaign over here. Bounty. Back to your seat. So I need this seat. And I'm not able to do anything to create another one here. Okay. I hope for the best. I hope for the best. It's all I can fucking do because I can't calculate in this game. It's just, it's too much against me. He only has 2 actions. I took like 4 on him. That's not right. Fuck. I need to get back here. I don't think I could take this point. And that means I walked there for no fucking reason. That's life. That means I'm 1 provender short because I couldn't get the provender there. I just walked back. The Duke of York marched up the hill and back down again. Great. Okay, over here. Chartreuse. He has provender. I am going to siege. I need a 1. I don't get a 1. I eat my food. I put another siege marker. And I'm done. Come back over. We hope for the best. This is my 3rd Alp Arslan. I gotta get real close. How do I get real close? Real close is down this way. Alp Arslan's overloaded. Not going to make it. He's got 1 more move. So I can't get down here in time because I'm overloaded. 2, 4, you know, whatever. I loot what I can. I loot this for 2. That's automatic. I'm trying to get close to my 10 points or whatever. I loot that for 2. That puts me here. I get a loot and a provender. 3-4 gets me here. We eat the 2 provender. We live with what we got. We're not going to be able to deliver any of this stuff back for victory points. Should he have gone back? Probably not, because he's useless there, but it's too late, right? It's too late. Diogenes. Diogenes wants to capture this. That's his whole point. So, how's my food situation? Because this is his 3rd card. My food situation will feed me 1.5 turns. That's not good enough. I got to go home at the end of this. I'm still in bypass. I can ravage. I can make my last action a siege, right? I don't know. Like, I could convert a move to a siege, but I think I can convert anything to a siege. How's my battery? Like to place to leave from bypass. So I don't know. And camp allows you to replace, one march allows you to replace a bypass with a siege, but this is going to be a move fought. But only on the encamping lord. Okay, that's sweet. So I need less food than I thought I did. What does that mean? That means I want 1 to ravage, which means I have 2 more shots at grabbing provender. I'm going to need that provender later. Let's take those 2 shots at provender. We get 2. It gets us to 4. More than we can carry, but I don't need to be able to carry. Actually, yeah, no biggie. That was 2. 3rd is going to be to drop the ravage marker, which is a half point. That gets us yet another provender and a 2nd loot. And then we get rid of this and move it to a siege over here. We moved fought for us, but just for us, which means I only need to spend 1 food. I don't get a roll on the siege. That's okay. And I'm going to pause for a little bit just to smoke and drink this in. It's a lot easier when I start getting into the bang, 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 back and forth. I start to understand where I need to be rather than, walking down halfway through the action phase. Maybe a common spirit that I have with these Levian campaigns is that eventually I just get so frustrated that I can't walk away anymore, and I just am like, let's get through it, and then it starts working better. Something new, it's the treachery card. Okay, where the hell's that? Again, that's special rules to this. Loyalty check, roll a die. Before the roll, that player can spend coin from their commander's lord or a lord of a friendly that is co-located with the target of the treachery. I think the target is here. Well, here, or who's the other guy? Okay, I can't find the other guy. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know where the hell he is. One of the targets is here. The other one is something that I can't see. The other one is this Roussel de Bayard, or no, Seljuk, who I honestly just don't know where to find him. I had the feeling he was over here somewhere, but I'm not seeing his little shield. It's not up here. Tell me where he comes from? Ankara! Well, that's got to be kind of in the center. Over here. Okay. That's why I couldn't see it. Well, obviously I'm not located at either of those. I didn't set myself up to be. But I can pay from the commander's mat, only coin, and they give +1 die rolls. Alp Arslan will pay for a +1 die roll. Now, Romanos is also able to pay, and I think he will drop it to a -1 die roll, because we don't want to face more stuff. If it's higher than the fealty, we were going to go after Krepin. Although this guy could be a real disaster back where he is. I don't want somebody close to Constantinople in the winter, because the army will be up here. Okay. So I think I need a 1. Wait, which way does it go? No, I need high. So it went up to a 3. I need higher than a 3? Yeah, I need higher than a 3. So I need a 4 or more. And this is a Seljuk. I get it. I have converted Krepin. He goes over there. He replaces this. And is now allied with the Seljuks. Okay. And I think the Byzantines can take him back with treachery. I'm not sure about that, but they have a no command there. And now we're at the last cards for each person. Arasigi, I think I need to swap batteries first. Actually, what I was thinking of, or preparing to think about when I flipped a card over, and then I'm like, oh fuck, it's the treachery. Now I get to do that thinking again. So I want to try to make sure that I can do whatever I can do best with him. Now, I'm not going to be able to deal with this because it's under siege. There's an enemy force there. I'm not going to be able to get here easily. So whatever loot I have is kind of unimportant. It's just crap I'm carrying it's just expensive provender, really. Although I can pay off during the pay stuff. A couple of choices. I only have 3 actions with him. I'm going to move here. That's an eat, and drop a siege in play. Which the advantage of that is it counts against my 10 that I need to get. 10 locations. So that's that. I have food. I'm going to roll my siege. Yeah. I fail. I eat. I get a 3rd siege marker. Let's put this as blue. No, let's put this as blue. We get back over here. Alp Arslan's my last card. I do have loot with Alp Arslan. if I don't bring Afson Bay with me, and I don't have to, I could move 1, 2 to here. Now, Alp has 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can get home. Sounds good to me. First thing I'm going to do in that case is I am going to... See, this is both infantry. That's not great. I want to make sure I get stuff. So I'm going to do the guaranteed for 2 here. That gets me a half point. It gets me a provender and yet another loot, both of which are important to me. I'm burdened automatically, so 3, 4 puts me here. I lay siege. I have to eat, and I'm in position that my 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, gets home, so I'll be able to score those points. So I did something good, I think. And that is my last card there. My last card here is a Diogenes. I have plenty of food. I'm going to roll for a lucky siege. Try to take that seat down. I'm lucky. I have taken it. I don't get any bonus from it. I have to feed both of these armies, which cost me 2 provender. That's okay. I'm going to have to go home anyway. Instead of this, I get a conquer marker. Actually, I get 2 because that's a... I probably didn't get it. I didn't get it. I had to roll 2 dice for that. I do not get a conquered marker. There were 2 sieges. That's my 3rd siege marker there. Oh, these are all fucking conquered. I grabbed from the wrong pile. That means I put a conquered in here. And we have 3 sieges here. But I'm going to have to go home, which is going to get rid of all of those. But now, I am at the end of the campaign. Game did not end. It's not a grow. 3 or 4 siege markers repairs one. This is before scoring happens. Could be important if it was a Seljuk siege situation. Wastage. Okay. No wastage. Wastage. I will get rid of a provender, because those are easy to get. An Alp. He'll get rid of a cart because I have... Oh, I can't bring all this loot home. I'll get rid of a loot. I got too much loot. Too much loot for my carts. Okay. That's fine. We get over here, and no wastage. No wastage. Wastage. We take a provender for that. We move back. Reset. Roman commander may retain themata. Return each unpaid. Nobody's got any themata. Roman then Seljuks discard any Arts of War cards. Unstack lieutenants. Advance campaign to next season. Discard all this campaign cards. What was this? This is in the deck. I just have to remember what it does. So this will go back to levy over here. And now we're in the winter interface. Aleppo conquered. Aleppo was not conquered. Bounty, a Seljuk lord who can trace a path of locations that are ruins, wilderness, unfortified, or friendly bypassed. Wilderness? Oh, this isn't good. I can't make it. I thought I could make it through here, but I can't. Well, I fucked up. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I used everything up. If I hadn't grabbed this, I could have moved here, but that's still not going to help me. I had to get down to here. I wouldn't have been able to make it no matter what. So I don't get any of those loot cards. Fine. Compare the total number of localities with Seljuk colored runes conquered or ravaged. Not their VP value. On the map with Seljuk utility on the unity on the calendar. If less than, I got a problem. Okay, how many places do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I succeed. Actually, I'm at 11. So I don't take any penalty. At least there's that. Winter quarters. Unless capability, return all lords to seats unladen. Discard excess assets. If Ersigi is Roman, return to... Oh, he's the evil one. Return to Constantinople. If Seljuk Norman lord's seat is occupied, return to Mosul. Each lord then reduces his carts to half their number. Then remove... Did I already do that half number cart thing? Feels like I did. Then remove Seljuk seat, like in the first turn. Seljuk seat markers conferred by Maywind Alliance. Okay. Well, this is gone. Great. I thought I got to keep it. Oh, there it is. Okay. I mean, I'm set up to build another one, but I thought I got to keep that one. All right. So what happens? We have to return unladen. He's unladen. We lose half our carts which way? To half rounded up. Okay. So he could go here or here. This is kind of a pain in the ass place to be. I think I'm allowed to go to either. I don't remember. I don't know. Oh, look, I'm almost out of battery again. Well, let me look that up and I'll swap battery. I can tell the holding box is just another seat for him. And so conceivably I could actually draw supplies from both. But anyway, I have to return unladen. That means no fucking loot. Would have been useful at other times. Wasted it because I can't count. I can't do all the processing necessary in this game. So he returns here. He loses half his carts. I don't feel like we did too badly, even though we failed, right? And this Diridu, he can only go to one place, which is back here. I don't believe they have to trace or anything to do this. Unladen, that means this goes away, cart goes away, and we're back there without any value from our loot. The siege is gone, but it served its brief purpose, getting us, well, to 11, but this siege is gone. And now for the Romans, we also have to go home. All these sieges go away. He goes back to Antioch. He's fine. Doesn't need to feed or anything. Both of these have to go back to Constantinople. He's just peachy. He makes it back. this is going to be available. Just wasn't for the last turn. Sometimes I forget to flip these. The loot, can't carry it. Siege is gone. Up here. Again, you know, we're both losing stuff. We are not laden, but we lose a cart. Independent Aleppo marker, roll a d6. On a 1 or 2 remove. How about that? Aleppo is no longer independent, whatever that means. And we're ready for the spring turn. We're going to load this up. I think I have to play in this kind of fever dream where I just accept fucking up and not being able to calculate where I'm going and not being able to plan appropriately. And I think this is my flow of the game, is except that usually I do hit a point where I am calculating and trying to get things right, but I'm finding I can't. And I'm just gonna short circuit that and go straight to the let's just fucking do shit and see what happens stage of the game, which is where I actually start enjoying it, because it's just too much of a headache to do all the pre-planning that the game actually requires. And that's why I've always got, see, I have such great respect for the game, but I don't think I can play it accurately. And that goes with all the Levian campaigns, honestly. I might have had easier times with some of them. I know the Plantagenet one was really weird, and I think I kind of was getting the aim of that after, you know, that has like 4 scenarios or whatever that I had to play through the separate different war scenarios. I feel like towards the end of that I was getting the feel for that one, but that one was very different from everything else in a lot of ways in terms of how the supplies are managed, etc. I think it was actually easier to cope with. And I feel like this is what I constantly was doing, was just, you know what, I don't have the patience and the willpower to fucking deal with the supply system in this. I do respect it. I think it's great. But like combining that with the programming through the cards and everything, yeah, it just doesn't work for me. And so I'm always left with this, do I really like these games or not? And I keep buying them because they're such interesting subject matter, and I know that they're handling it properly in a lot of ways. But I'm also like, look, I don't understand the game as the first stage. Then there's this sort of, I understand what I need to do, but I'm not capable of doing it, and the frustration is really building. And then finally there's this rage play where I actually kind of get a kick out of it, but I know I'm not playing it well. You know, I'm playing it the same way that somebody who doesn't count factors in, you know, one of those old style AH or SPI games, and is like, oh, I missed my odds chart by 1. What a shame. Well, I roll my attack anyway because I planned on it. And it's like, no, you can take it back if you want to. No. But here, there's no easy opportunity to like take back your moves and fix them. It's because it's pre-programmed and it's interleaved and everything. Anything that's pulsed becomes, you know, the I go, you goes, it's relatively easy to say, look, you would have had an opportunity to do this. Go ahead. But I feel like I had a friend who was very much like this, who was like, well, I'm just going to push my piece. You know, a serious wargamer overall, but he was just like, I'm just going to push my pieces forward and do what feels right. And then was neglecting some of the game mechanisms and some of the gamey stuff you had to do. And it's not like that gamey stuff is unrealistic or whatever in terms of the outcome. It's just, it doesn't feel right? Like this, it doesn't feel right that I shouldn't be aware that I'm able to make this path game connecting through everything and everything like that. And so I end up playing, I think, a very suboptimal game But you know what? It may just be that I demand too much, and that if I were to play this opposed against the kind of people that I normally play games against, I mean, most people I know, I don't think would be able to cope with it that much better than I am. And I'm having trouble with that battery. Fucking thing, the rubber band holds it together sometimes, but maybe it needs a cleaning. I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, it's like, you know, sometimes I play a Euro and I feel so frustrated and everything, and I kind of stumble into winning, and I'm like, yeah, but I feel like, you know, I wasn't able to do the calculation that I wanted to, and I just kind of, like, I kind of know what I needed to do, and I'm not doing it. And maybe I'm just, you know, everybody else is being lazy too. You know, I have played games like this with people, you know, who really do calculate and pre-plan everything and are able to handle it. So I know that there is that barrier that I'm not able to exceed. But I also know that most other people who play aren't either, you know? And that I'm better off just rage playing like that.